Hey everyone, I'm Matt Cremona.
And I'm Matthew Morris.
And welcome to the Matt and Matthew Show. In our last episode, we did an interview with Jeff Miller, and we also shot a shop tour and a tour of Jeff's showroom at the same time. But unfortunately, what happened, Matthew?
Well, the first part of the shop tour, the record button forgot to be hit. But that's okay, because we have a whole bunch of great stuff in the showroom, and then we have a discussion with Jeff afterwards. I think it's a little bit, right, Matt?
Now, here's the best part about this, though. The whole time we're doing that shop tour, neither Matthew or I could see what Jeff was pointing out or the rest of the shop. All we saw was just what you saw in the interview, just the hand tool cabinet. So I have no idea what his shop looks like. And I don't know if you do, Matthew. Have you seen any pictures of his shop at all before?
I've only seen some pictures in magazines, which means that we probably should make a trek this year to go take a class or two.
I'm all for that, for sure. And he's got his class schedule announced now as well. So we'll have a link to Jeff's website again in case you're interested in some classes.
Awesome. So let's get to it.
So this is my showroom, and a bunch of chairs obviously around here. Oh, off in the corner here we've got a rocking dinosaur that I made many years ago for the children's furniture book. And that's also a nice way to keep kids entertained while I talk to their parents about furniture. And so a couple of tables with chairs around them. This here is the Takata chair. This is the reading chair version here. Really pleased with this as that turned out. And then moving along here, this is the Chippendale chair that I teach. And the interesting thing about the class in this chair is that we do all the joinery by hand. Which seems crazy, but there are systems that I've developed for doing that really work very well. And I've taught the class a couple times so far, and we've finished these chairs, and that's pretty amazing. Other chairs that are here that are sort of favorites, this one here is the Cantata chair, and that's just extraordinarily comfortable dining chair and one that I really, really like. Another one of these designs where there are essentially no straight lines anywhere on the chair. It takes a pile of jigs roughly the size of a Volkswagen to actually build this thing. And just a terrific chair, light, sturdy, and incredibly comfortable to sit in, even for long periods of time. Then there's another chair here that's worth kind of looking at. And this is my 988 chair, and the name there comes from the 988 screws that make up the seat and the back of this chair, and some of the joinery. I'm counting the joinery screws in there also. And they're all adjusted to different heights so that there's actually sort of a contoured surface that you sit on that is surprisingly comfortable. And so that's kind of fun there. This table made by hand, there's a Craftsy class on doing that I did about a year ago. And then this is a very interesting stool here, sort of a work stool that I designed and have built a handful of. And it's just kind of fun, laminated 16th inch plywood goes into this. And although it looks kind of odd in its posture, it's very comfortable to sit on for long stretches of time because it kind of keeps your back in a very nice position as you're sitting there. Then, Matt, you asked about these. These are a couple of golden hammers, which is, of course, I use lots of golden hammers in my work. And these were just awards for writing, chair making and design, and also the sort of companion video that went along with that, now DVD chair making techniques, both with Taunton, and now the chair making and design is out with Linden Publishing in the second edition. And those were awards from the National Association of Home and Workshop Writers and Stanley Tools for the best how-to book and video of, I think, 1997. So a long time ago. You know, the showroom was something that I kind of had as part of the original idea for how I wanted a shop set up. It's just nice to sit people down around a table and talk about, you know, the furniture that they want for their house. And it's easy to sketch things and trade ideas back and forth, and people are comfortable talking that way. And I think they feel more comfortable buying in a setting that is not just, you know, some dusty shop somewhere. And so this was sort of part of my vision for what I wanted my business to look like. And, you know, it's not in a neighborhood where people tend to drop by unannounced. And in fact, if you do that, you might be disappointed because I might be out doing something else. But just running the business or whatever. But, you know, if you make an appointment and come by, it's great, and I can sit down and you can see lots of the furniture that I do and sit in chairs and sit around a table and talk about it and feel really comfortable. It almost has you know, it's got a real warmth to it with the exposed brick and the wood floor, and there's a real kind of glow that room has it's just really a nice place. My wife used to just come and sit and look around and feel comfortable and peaceful in that room. And that was something we were really targeting.
So do you think, I mean, it seems like it's what you're saying, but do you feel that having the showroom and having all your pieces out there has really made a difference as far as people, you know, testing it out more easily, saying, yes, I want you to build this for me because I sat in it, or maybe here's something I never thought that I really wanted to buy, but or what needed is more like it, and now I see it and I tried it out and I want it.
I think it's easier with the showroom. I don't think it's made a huge difference. I think, you know, there are plenty of people who do just fine without that. But for me, it's easier to establish, I think, a better relationship with customers. And so, you know, even just establishing friendships with customers that have lasted years. And I think that's helped to have a setting where they can come here and be comfortable, and I can go to their house and be comfortable, and it's a nice addition to have. Is it a critical addition? No, I don't think so. But I have never regretted having it and never regretted dedicating that kind of space to it, because it's a substantial chunk of room there. It really is.
I have a question about your tool cabinet, Jeff. On that top molding, the curved one, is that out of a solid block, or did you bend that, or is it a bent lamination or steam bending?
That was carved. This here was carved out of cut and carved out of a solid piece, and then joined to the wings there. So a fair bit of work, but I think worthwhile in terms of, you know, just adding something fun, to a nice fun detail to the tool cabinet there. And the little cutout for the arch table, which is part of my logo, or has been for years really, was just, you know, something we cut out and applied. And that's worked really nicely to sort of accentuate the field up there.
So when you're showing us the shop, is there lumber storage there, or?
I have to drive probably half an hour to get to a lumber store, although Chicago has wholesale lumber dealers, and I can call people up and, you know, get a truckload of whatever I want here in a few days. So there's not a problem with that. I also definitely order material from a lot of the bigger lumber dealers out in Pennsylvania, because they just do a great job, and the prices, even, you know, including shipping, don't seem to be that much more, and you get, I think, a better choice of wood. And I can get matched boards for tabletops, and all from the same tree, and get some stuff like that very reliably. It's not quite the same as going and picking it out, which I can do, you know, driving half an hour.
You know, for you, you're in this industrial space, everything's very high, the ceilings are high. I mean, I couldn't see when you were showing us on the tour, but I mean, what kind of, do you have dust collection in there? Is this like machine, or?
We have central dust collection. It's the biggest machine in the shop. It's in another room, which is kind of nice. And all of the duct work goes underneath the floor. And this was an incredible task, because actually this was a post office, and then about 10 years after it closed, it was turned into a bowling alley, and they put a bowling alley floor roughly 18 inches above the old original floor. And when they did demolition, they didn't bother cleaning out the space, and you know, they just sort of left it there and then put down the bowling alley floor. So in order to go through the floor, we had to cut through the bowling alley floor, the rubble underneath, and then the original floor to come out into a dirt floor crawl space below. And I spent 2 weeks sort of getting construction rubble raining down on my head and crawling around in the dirt down below. But it's so nice to have dust collection that's central and out of the way beneath the floor. And it's quieter because the machine is in the other room, and it's an enormous machine. It's like a 12 horsepower dust collector, a bag box. And it's been a real great addition over the years. I don't regret the 2 weeks I spent 22 years ago doing that.
Now, you have a lot of space in the shop, so when you do classes, I mean, how many people do you usually have in there when you're running a class in your shop?
I try to limit it to a person per bench. So with 7 benches now, I'm limiting it to 7 for some of these classes. We're going to try and build another bench maybe over the winter, so I could go to 8 with capacity. And I don't really want to do more than that. It's a great size for a class to keep things relatively small. I feel when I go places and have to teach to a room of 20 people that it's frantic, and I can't give everybody the attention that they would like, that I would like to give them. So that's perfect for me. In some of the more complex classes, I limit it to smaller than that, and I'm not going to go over 5 or 6 for those, because there is too much attention that I think should be given. Not too much, I mean, that's the amount of attention I feel people should get, they're entitled to for a class like that.
So it seems like buying the shop, the building, was one of probably the best tools that you've ever bought.
I'm not going to disagree with that at all. I mean, it's been a wonderful space. This is also something that's 4 blocks away from my house. So it's a great distance in that when I leave, I don't feel like I can just wander back over and do stuff at all hours. But it's close enough that it's pretty much a walk every day. And I've been able to expand and grow, and it's been supported by rent from 2 other spaces. And you know, it's just a very comfortable place both to build furniture and teach. Now, I will say that you'd think with 7 workbenches that I would have, you know, an endless amount of free space at all times. But somehow when I get going in here, all those benches wind up covered up with stuff. And I'm not even bad about putting stuff away. It's just that I've got the space and I spread out, and a project will cover easily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 workbenches at a time. So yeah, you can never have too many benches.
So thank you so much, Jeff, for showing us around today. Really appreciate it. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you if they want to maybe take a class or learn more about your work?
Sure. My website is furnituremaking.com. I jumped on the bandwagon early and got a very good website. Again, furnituremaking.com. That has lists of classes, some of my furniture, tells you exactly where I am in Chicago, and a little bit of other information in my blog as well.
So thanks, Jeff, for that great tour of your showroom. I hope someday to walk through those doors and see it for myself. Matthew, why don't you tell everybody what we have up for the next episode?
Sure. So we have Milton Swan from Swan Tools on our next episode. He is here local in Los Angeles, builds everything here in LA. So it's a completely all US made company that makes tools for woodworkers. So we have an interview with him and the shop tour after that. So Matt, why don't you take us away?
Before I do, I'll just make a comment that since Matthew is there on site, it did get recorded this time.
Yes! All right, as always, guys, please subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. For me, you can find everything I do at mmwoodstudio.com, and for you, Matt?
You can find me and everything I do over at mattcremona.com, and make sure you check out Jeff's work as well. Links to his stuff is in the description.
And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
We'll see ya.
Bye.